What's cracking, folks? This video is 2 training sessions. First one was the beginning of the weekly team training session that I do with the rugby team. This is actually before the team shows up. I was just trying to get some of my training in. So basic warm-up stuff, dragging the sled, always good for the legs, all the muscles around the knee, etc., to kind of make the knees feel a little bit better before training. Then I hopped into some high hip snatches, something I haven't done since probably last early season or off season. But throwing them back in, starting to get some swift athletic movements in again. We can argue all day about whether Olympic lifts are good for or appropriate for throwers or necessary for throwers, etc. My opinion is it ain't gonna hurt, especially just these partials, these high pull movements. It's akin to a jump, so definitely gonna hurt anything. Being as it was a rugby training, I had the rugby ball out already and decided to superset the hip snatches with some practice throwing, some passing technique. Hey, I'm a forward, so don't come at me just because I ain't knocking a water bottle off of a tire every single time. Move your dang hands and catch the ball. Sometimes I'm going to strike gold and hit the bottle, but sometimes I'm not. And to be honest, 95% of the time, I'm going to run it straight anyway. So you ain't getting a pass from me. So ruck over, nerd. Weights were moving pretty good. I mean, this was, I don't remember what I did, like 185 to 2 something. Again, so 185 for a few sets, and then it was like 230. But weight doesn't matter. Is basically only worried about whether I was going to be able to move the weight fast and just kind of get that impulse, that feeling with the movement itself. So hey, look at that, knocked the bottle right off the top of that thing. So score 1 for the forwards. So yeah, should see some more of these coming in soon. Some more of these or some more things like this. And as the off season or as the season approaches, I'm gonna try to get a little bit better at them. I will probably try to do some more from either a lower hang or actually get them from the ground. Not comfortable pulling from the ground, that snatch grip. Pull me down too low. I do need to work some a little bit mobility in the hips again. So I mean, that's the goodest reason as any to do it, is just to not try to mask over that lack of mobility through the hip. So yeah, I'll fart around with those a little bit. This training session, though, this was today, had kind of doubled up on squats and bench because I missed a training day earlier in the week. So just got mobilized through the hips and through shoulders, a lot of shoulder and hip mobility stuff. And then did some safety squat bar squats and some bench pressing. Nothing fancy on either one of those things. Didn't squat to a box. Didn't bench with a slingshot like I have been. Just simple movements. But like I said, did a lot of mobility, activation, all kinds of different prep movements. The standard shoulder complex. I did do some single arm kettlebell swings. These are another one that's going to be a regular appearance in the training session now that we're coming into the season. Single arm only to kind of make it a little bit more specific to weight over bar, even though it's not really specific to weight over bar, but to work that little bit of anti-rotation and the hip explosion at the same time. I really do like these, like you see here, with little band resistance to accelerate the ball going down. And so I have to fight a little bit going up, but that's not the thing. It's the overspeed coming down and reacting off of that in the back. So I do like that variation. So give it a try. That back kettlebell's heavy, but it still rolls around and moves around a little bit. So probably need to anchor it to something a little more sturdy. And then back at some shoulder rehab stuff, meat mobility or activation or whatever you want to call it. External external rotation felt a little funky, so got these normal external rotations. Nothing crazy. Probably seen these on a whole bunch of different channels. Overhead press with the bands biasing, pulling me forward. Again, just to get the upper back and the rear shoulders to start getting a little warmed up and feel like they're turning on. And then this one's kind of like a modification of like a Y up, like you would do more prone and with dumbbells. But I like it. It's almost like I don't know. It's almost like a top end of a caber pull, maybe. I don't know. And then some, I think, what do you call these? Pails and rails, or something, or I don't remember. I'm not a PT nerd, but I do like them. Trying to move that shoulder through its full range of motion in the behind the body. One of the things I've had trouble with over the past maybe 3-4 years is the shoulder going behind, or the arm going behind me, if that makes any sense. I feel like I'm really restricted in that motion, which I notice when like I throw my arms back to jump, or even when I'm sprinting and that trail arm just kind of hanging back there. I notice some tightness in the shoulder. That's probably just because I don't spend a lot of time in that position. And this has me back in that position a little bit and active in it. And then these hang rock throughs kind of forces my body weight to pull me forward and into them. So I do these and then couple them with these right here, where I just have the band basically trying to put me in a like an arm lock, that the band is pulling upwards and I step forward and it pulls my arm out away from my body, and that gives me a little bit of stretch through the shoulder. And again, trying to just stretch and push some mobility in an area I don't find myself often in, and I think it will be helpful in just overall just health of the joint. And then finally, we're in the lifting. I don't know if you want to call me training. I don't know how you want to call my training style, but it's almost all warm up. Call me a warm up man, not strong man, because I do a lot of warming up. I think I was 40 minutes in the gym before I even put this barbell on my back, which, hey, that's not a bad thing. It just takes a long time. But yeah, I worked up to a good set of, I think I did 3 or 4 sets of 2 at 425 with the safety squat bar before moving over to the bench. It's still my probably fairly unique technique that I use with the safety squat bar. Just kind of, I do lean over, I do kind of face downward on purpose. I feel like it is more akin to like a lot of the stuff that we do, reaching down in between your legs for the weight over bar, or on caber picks. I don't feel like it takes any less of my legs and my typical squatting muscles, and I still feel like my core is active in it, and I'm no shortage of work for my abdominals while I'm squatting. So keep doing it like that. And also I think it's going into a little bit of a more of a range of motion through my spine while I'm squatting, or my spine's having to move through a range of motion, which I think is overall making the back stronger. Like I said, no difference on the legs, but definitely notice the difference in the amount of work it does on my back, and it doesn't cause pain. So if you're trying to mimic this and it's causing pain, then don't do it. This absolutely does not cause me any discomfort whatsoever. So I can do it, and I feel like it's helpful and beneficial for me. That's about it for the squats. Like I said, pretty fast motion, and I'm back into that mode of like, I'm going to go as heavy as I can while speed is still a priority. And that's going to be the exact same with my bench press. I worked up here to sets of 3 at 315. And again, making sure the movement was clean, no grind, no maximal effort, and just moving the weight fast. Pretty boring otherwise, though. I mean, just your standard bench press, up and down, up and down. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Pretty boring training session for the most part. I hope there's some value in the in some of the rehab movements or the stretching or the activation stuff that I do early on. I really do feel like that's been a thing that has made me at 39 years old as durable and resilient as an athlete as anyone. So definitely recommend it. You know, sacrificing a few assistance exercises to make sure that the body is healthy and able to move through proper ranges of motion. I think you're better off doing that. I mean, the goal is the goal, right? We're trying to throw far. We're not trying to lift the most weight, at least not in the on season. So that's about it. This last set. Until the next time, hopefully you're going to start seeing more throwing videos out of me here as the weather is much better than it should be in March in Alaska. It's looking great outside, so definitely time to get out there and start chucking things around. All right, talk to y'all later. Peace.